Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to Advanced Shouting. Alongside Dan Petru, Michael Vartan. Zach, what are you doing here?
I'm returning for round two.
Oh, my
He's
God.
making us better.
Yeah. Before we start, everyone subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 100 subscribers. We hit 100. Dan is going to give everybody $1,000. So congrats on that. Yeah, I got so much positive feedback about Zach's appearance last week. We're going to make him basically a contributor, a host, whatever he wants to be, director, producer of the show.
All the above.
Yeah, look, he's got set designs behind him. I mean, it's crazy. It's, such a great job, buddy.
He's going to take over hosting trivia at some point soon.
He's also smarter than the three of us put together. So
Sure.
I had to work on my background. Had to make sure I had a good background for today.
Yeah, just make sure you don't have the cat filter on.
Yeah.
I am not a cat.
Yeah, I am not a cat. That's great. Although he might be a better lawyer than what's going on in DC right now. That's another story. Okay, let's go over with Super Bowl. Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for winning Super Bowl 45.
55.
45-year-old Tom Brady, right? But,
Roman numerals was never his strength.
No, math. I told him. That's why I went into this field. When we did our predictions last week, I nailed the score by 1 point. I said 31-10. Of course, teams were wrong, but I almost got the score right.
Only one person got it right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Michael, gloat.
I am going to gloat. I got it right.
Go for it. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get the exact score, but it was Tampa in the under.
What was the over in the game?
What's that?
What was the over under?
I think it was like 50 something.
That was 46 or 47, something like that.
That's it.
Six.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
well.
56.
Yeah. But
Hi, Amy. Hi, Adrian. Yeah. I only said that because one of my best friends, who's a huge gambler, was like, "I guarantee you, Tampa and the under," and I was like, "Okay, I'm going to go with that."
Look at you.
yeah,
But
Congratulations.
that Tampa front four got after that tackleless KC offensive line like I've never seen. I mean, Mahomes was under pressure every single snap. It was ridiculous.
He's still running. He's still at the stadium. He hasn't.
Still running, yeah.
I mean,
The discouraging part, if you're, or the crazy part, I guess is the better word, is if you're watching the game, is Mahomes, we find out, was playing with a torn tendon in his foot.
yeah,
And he ran for his life. He threw balls like 60 yards off a back foot. He threw balls like parallel to the ground. He threw balls, and the balls were hitting the receivers in the hands and the helmet. And like there was at least 6 or 7 drops. I don't know how that guy didn't go crazy.
And then
That's how Brady is.
yeah.
I saw something saying that he ran 497 total yards, like just trying to get away from
Laterally.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
like, do I go left? Do I go right?
yeah. I mean, if I wanted to watch a quarterback run for his life and the team get 3 field goals, I would have watched a Jet game. But
That's funny.
yeah, that's just another story. But I mean, besides the line and the officials definitely had
100%.
but all legit. I mean, the stupid penalties that KC took in this game. I mean, the end of the first half was pretty much a killer. The Chiefs took those timeouts where I was talking to Zach when watching the game, like they shouldn't take these timeouts. Just let the clock run out.
Right.
But Zach was said that they'll take timeouts to get the ball back. They almost did, but another dumb penalty, and you can't give Brady chances. Over the years, you can't give quarterback chances.
Another thing that I think hurt Casey, I know they have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but you don't have Damian Williams. You
Yeah.
know what he did in the Super Bowl against San Francisco last
Huge
year.
loss.
Having him is a big loss.
Oh, Emily says the over-under was 56.5. Okay, I was way off.
Oh, I was right. I said 56.
That's a great look. He froze there for a second. That was hilarious.
And then Jacob, the Jets would miss the field goal. Good point. Good point. Yeah. Next
But
time,
we got to tip our caps to Tom Brady. And Gronk was dominant. Gronkowski was just absolutely dominating that game. You got to tip your cap to the defensive team of Tampa.
Yeah.
The coaching staff did an amazing job. Who's their defensive coordinator?
former Jet coach Todd Bowles. Congratulations to him.
I actually really like Todd Bowles.
He's just great coordinator, real nice guy, real classy guy. Just couldn't cut in New York. If he gets another chance, I'm sure he'll do well. But, I mean, he stymied Mahomes. I mean, Mahomes, this is the first time the Chiefs, didn't have a touchdown in one of the starts, and they lost by double digits. And that's crazy.
I'm actually I saw that yesterday, and I was surprised that it was that they haven't did they not score a touchdown in a game last year. I feel like they've scored touchdowns in every game he's ever played in. Do you know what I mean? I was surprised to hear that this is the first time they didn't score a touchdown this year, but I would have thought going back to maybe 2 years or 3 years ago.
I think it's the first time that they haven't gotten 10 points since he was in like high school.
Yeah, it was the first time he hasn't scored a touchdown in a game since he was in high school, which is insane.
Yeah. And the thing too is that it's a little puzzling if you're a Chiefs fan. Is okay, so you know you're getting overrun at the line. You know you can't hold the line. Why didn't they keep them honest with some screens to the running backs, some wide receiver screens? Maybe spread them out a little bit more, some quick slants. It just seems like the Chiefs never were able to adjust to that pressure.
Yeah, I mean, they've been in close games a lot this year, but they've never been punched in the mouth. You know, like Mike Tyson says, you always have.
They were knocked out.
I'm sorry, they got punched in the mouth by the Raiders. Just saying.
Yeah, it was more of a shootout though, that game, right?
Yeah.
They almost lost to Atlanta. They almost lost there at the Young Wei Koo missed the game-winning field goal or game-time field goal, whatever it was.
Yeah. But this game just felt different, though.
The game sucked.
Yeah, because
it did suck. It did suck. And I guess the conversation is it that Tom Brady is that good, or is it that KC they just fucking sucked on Sunday? And it was just like, you know, if they played that game again on this coming Sunday, KC could win. I don't know. I don't think that's the case. That Tampa team is just loaded.
KC was 100%. If KC's 100%, then if they had both their tackles and Mahomes was 100%, different story. 100%.
Well, I'm sure, but they weren't able to adjust to those losses. And look, you got to be able to adjust. There's always going to be injuries. By the time you get to the Super Bowl, everybody's beat up. I mean, Mahomes playing on one leg, so you have to be able to adjust. And Tampa their schemes were great. I don't even think Brady was that dominant in the game. I don't think he had to be. The defense was. They were fantastic, and Gronk was absolutely dominant as well.
Yeah.
All I got to say is in the 6 years I've fully been on football, Patrick Mahomes has been the best player I've ever seen. Most talented football, and I've seen Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and others. Patrick,
way back.
Most talented.
You go way back. It's crazy.
Most talented player I've ever seen.
He goes back to almost standard definition.
I forgot where I saw it. I think it was TSN on Instagram. You had Mike Evans and Godwin when the Chiefs were on the field. And Mahomes was just evading everyone and doing his like you said, parallel throws into fucking Tyreek Hill's face mask that he didn't catch. And Godwin and Mike Evans were like, "Oh my God, he's a magician! Did you see how does he do that?" They were literally freaking out. They were winning the game. These guys are like, okay, we're gonna win the Super Bowl, but they were still completely in awe of this kid's talent. He's a different breed, and I'm glad he's the son of an ex-Mets pitcher.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of Mets, can I promo our guest tomorrow?
Yes, do it.
Yeah, tomorrow morning, it'll be myself and Vartan. 11 a.m. The little morning edition, little morning shout with former Mets manager and now the athletic director at Sacred Heart University, Bobby Valentine, is going to join us. So we're going to go live at 11 o'clock for about 20-25 minutes, and we're going to catch up with Bobby V. Going to talk to us about the D1 hockey program that's getting really good in Southwest Connecticut. They're building a brand new complex there. We'll talk about recruiting and COVID, and then, of course, we'll talk about the Mets in the offseason, and maybe a disguise and a mustache will come up.
Yeah, and talk about maybe the difference between the skill level between the Japanese League and MLBPA's coach code.
Absolutely.
I have to mention his restaurant in Stamford, Connecticut.
It's awesome.
It's a new location. Fantastic. We went there in the summer. It's fantastic. They said a little a smaller place, but if anyone's in the area, I know a lot of people overseas, but if you ever come to the States, make sure you hit up Stamford, Connecticut, and go to that restaurant. It's fantastic.
We'll make sure to plug it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But so get some more football. Let's talk a little bit about the Hall of Fame real quick, because there's a couple of jerseys Zach has behind him right now. He's got Peyton Manning and, of course, Calvin Johnson. He's probably one of the only kids who has a Detroit Lions jersey and a Cleveland jersey. But
all I want to say is we have the GOAT and a top 3 receiver of all time. All I gotta,
I don't know about
You really went on a limb there.
top
all
three.
I gotta say. Top 3.
Top 3 in your generation, maybe.
Him, Randy Moss, Jerry Rice.
Not in that order.
No, but that's just my top 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
That's hard to. Yeah, I can't think of many
I
receivers
don't know.
in those 3.
I don't know.
Altoon probably. But that's just
Altoon, come on.
Well, there was a time before his injuries where Altoon was the best receiver in the league.
I mean, Lynn Swan,
head of Jerry Rice.
Drew Pearson. I mean, there's a lot of great receivers from, 30 years before Zach was born. So
I think the thing is too is they like Lynn Swan was an amazing receiver, but they didn't throw the ball as much back then, so his numbers don't look
for sure.
as impressive as some of these other guys.
But if you look at him in Super Bowl 10, and you see where his ballet training came into play.
Oh no, what did I start?
Nothing.
Yeah, because also those guys, the contact against those receivers back then, you able to hit those guys.
Right.
Where now it's like you touch them as a flag. Before you beat the hell out of the receivers, and just shows you that how great those guys really were.
So, here's a good question. I mean, seriously, Randy Moss or Jerry Rice?
If Randy Moss never missed time, he probably would have broke Jerry Rice's numbers.
You think Jerry Rice?
I think Moss is the better athlete, not by much, but I think he is. I think Rice was his route running was precise. His football IQ was off the charts, and he never took a playoff.
But so I agree with you 100%. But as a counterpoint, I will say that Rice played with the same quarterback and the same coach, well, a couple coaches, for most of his career until he went to the Raiders, and that was just a complete disaster. But Randy Moss was not he was definitely the superior athlete, and I think I just think he's a better wide receiver.
Okay. But he also had Brady. He also had Brady for his career year.
He had Brady for a little bit. He had Dante Culpepper.
He played
but
with some
Jerry Rice.
He also had Chris Carter next to him for a long time.
He did. I mean, so both guys had, John Taylor, also Roger Craig, Ricky Ward. So they all had definitely talent, skill guys. But I think
Calvin Johnson had no one.
He had nobody, and he got just beaten down, deflated. Scott Mitchell. I mean, he had Stafford for a couple of years.
Matthew Stafford, QB1, Matthew Stafford.
But he didn't have him for his entire career. It's just like what you said.
He had him for all
you have Joey Harrington maybe for a couple of years.
He had Joey Harrington.
Right? I mean, that's enough there.
Steven asked the question, do we think that Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
If Phillip Rivers is, which he will be, Eli Manning is too.
2-time Super Bowl MVP.
Sorry, my phone was ringing.
Yeah.
Walter Payton Man of the Year winner in 2016.
I mean,
I don't know. I think it's closer than. I don't think it's a lock like you guys think. It's in because of his postseason success, because his postseason success was fantastic. But after that second Super Bowl, he never made the playoffs again. Correct? Or they never won a playoff game again.
He made one time in like 15 or 16.
They never won a playoff game after that. He has a career 500 record. His regular season stats are very good. I don't know if they're Hall of Fame worthy. But I look, 2 Super Bowl wins against Brady. I get that. I totally do. I just don't think I don't think he's a lock.
He's got 57,000 yards.
I think it depends what your criteria for being a Hall of Famer is, because if Thurman Thomas is not in the Hall of Fame,
right,
then Eli to me is sort of a coin flip. I have no ill or positive feelings towards Eli. I think, sure, you won 2 Super Bowls. You've been the face of a franchise for almost 2 decades. Yeah, okay, but his numbers are not like first ballot. He's won 2 Super Bowls. I mean,
he's won 2 Super Bowl MVP twice. And okay, I'm being a Jet fan, but Joe Namath's in the Hall of Fame, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's actually a great point.
Yeah, they're actually comparable because
and if you look, obviously it was that game, that put the AFL on the map. That's why he's in there. But the fact that he beat the Patriots going for the perfect season, and then beating them a couple years later.
Yeah. If I had to, actually, you're right. If I had to choose between Eli and Joe Namath, I would choose Eli.
I mean, I don't know how Eli would look in a fur coat, but that knows.
Well, I think Joe Namath is incredibly overrated. But that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
he made one guarantee. Johnny Unitas was hurt, and whatever.
Yeah. don't take it away from me. I've watched that Super Bowl highlights video way too many times. Okay,
sorry.
That's all I have.
What about this one? I saw something on Twitter earlier saying that Russell Wilson is today's version of Eli Manning.
No.
You don't think so?
Next question.
No.
Yeah. I mean, numbers wise, they'll be similar all time.
Yeah, but I mean, he's so much more talented. Just as an athlete, he's just. I don't know what's going on in Seattle.
Looks like he has an MVP, right? Wilson won an MVP.
Never. He doesn't even have a single vote. He never got a single MVP vote.
Yeah.
That's odd.
Yeah, he won Walter Payton Man of the Year this year, which is bigger than an MVP. It's a little.
I mean, I like Eli. My best friend's
right here.
Yeah.
My best friend's a huge Giants fan, and I used to always give him shit calling Eli Captain Chromosome because he had one less chromosome than Peyton. But he has the same amount of rhythms as Peyton does. So,
What were the big snubs this year, Noel?
I mean, big snub every year. Joe Klecko. Tony Baselli, I think Torrey Holt, which I think Torrey Holt will eventually get in.
Right.
Tony Baselli. Those were two of the big guys. Shout out to Alan Faneca, the lineman from the Steelers and the Jets, getting into the Hall of Fame as well. But John Lynch, great safety. Now the
John Lynch.
Tom Flores, your former coach. Which is kind of
Nicholas, that's a good question. Gore, Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Yeah. Has to be.
It's funny because I look at Rivers, okay, yeah, he has the numbers because he played a long time and maybe he was a bit of a compiler, but you have to reward durability in football. So Rivers is going to get even though I don't think he's first ballot Hall of Famer, but for a running back to play that long and still be that good, absolutely Frank Gore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, back to Flores for a second. I think Flores was running those commercials to get Tom Flores into the Hall of Fame, and I saw it a couple days after the Super Bowl, so they can stop running now as the Hall of Fame was before the Super Bowl. So congratulations to all the inductees. Charles Woodson, when you mentioned him, fantastic Heisman Trophy winner as well.
Yep.
And he was the first defensive player to win
was he a Super Bowl MVP?
I think he was. I think he was MVP.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Zach, look that up. Look that up for us.
What am I looking up?
If Charles Woodson won a Super Bowl MVP, I think he did.
All right.
Come on.
All right, moving on.
Come on, Noel.
Yeah. All right. So Tom Brady won his ninth, seventh championship, right? That's the most in football, Super Bowl wise. I think Otto Graham had world championships, but before the Super Bowl. But is he the greatest athlete?
Not a chance.
No.
Not a fucking. He's not even in the top 100. I'm serious. If we're talking about athletes, Tom Brady is not in the top 100 athletes of all time. You want to go back to Jesse Owens? You want to go back to? I mean, you can talk. If we're talking about athletes, you're talking about athletes.
Practice.
Playoffs. Talking about practice. No, come on. He's not an athlete. He's an incredibly smart quarterback who has enough athletic ability to just win. He's a winner, but he's not.
He's one of the best winners of all time.
He's one of the best winners of all time, but he's no way one of the best athletes of all time.
Here's the thing. When you look at Wayne Gretzky, when you just look at him, not when he's playing, would you say he's a great athlete?
I don't think he was one of the greatest athletes when he was playing.
Of course. but he's also one of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah,
I think his intelligence, I think that's what him and Brady might share, is their intelligence and their ability to slow things down when everything is going so fast. Just put them a step ahead. Their IQ for their sports are just completely off the charts.
100%. So are we talking about the best thinkers and the best? Just the game slows down for them and they can just see everything before it develops? Or are we talking about the greatest athletes? Because if we're talking about the greatest athletes, if we're talking about team sports, Nathan McKinnon and McDavid are 10 times the athlete Gretzky ever was, and you can't compare generations because everyone's bigger and stronger and faster now. How tall are you, Zach?
Just under 6 feet.
Yeah, so you're going to end up being 6'4", 225. And if you were born 100 years ago, you would be 5'9", 150. So it's just
like Bo. Yeah, Steven's right here. Bo Jackson.
Yeah,
Bo Jackson is one of the great athletes of all time.
Jim Brown.
Right. It's my phone.
Right.
So.
But I think what we're going to talk, let's just talk about maybe in the context of success and winning, you have to put Brady near the top.
Brady is basically the football version of Derek Jeter.
To me, it's Michael Jordan. He's the greatest athlete and winner and most intense competitor and most dominant player of his sport, his generation, his era of all time. Hands down.
Yeah, because I don't think you can compare team sports because basketball is the only sport where a player can play every minute of the game.
Yeah, but it's still
you play a third of the game. Football, you play half. Baseball, you're on the bench. You get a bat. You don't play the entire game. So you can't compare Michael Jordan to Tom Brady.
Okay, but so are we not talking about? So we're not talking about Usain Bolt and things like that. We're talking about
team sports right now. But yeah.
So are we talking about Diego Maradona and Pele and Zidane and Messi and all those guys?
Ronaldo.
You're talking about guys who play. Forget 5 players. They're playing on a team with 10 other guys. It's kind of like the NFL in terms of the numbers. I think it'd be a more intelligent conversation to talk about who's the greatest athlete by sport. Like, who's the greatest athlete to ever play baseball? Is it Ozzie Smith? Is it Ricky Henderson?
Ken Griffey Jr.
It could be Bo Jackson.
It could be
Bo Jackson for both of them.
It could be Bo Jackson.
Yeah,
it could be Bo Jackson.
It could be Willie Mays.
Mickey Mantle when he was healthy and sober. Because if you look at all the baseball now, they're all muscular. Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge, all these guys.
No, those two are doing yoga to slim down.
Okay, well, I'm sure someone's going to pull a quad there and get on the injury list.
Hey, get it out of the way early.
Yeah,
that's right.
Get it out of the way early. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. But yeah, but if you look at the bottom, Bill Russell, we didn't mention Bill Russell, Rocket Richard, all these guys, Yogi Berra. We think of greatest athletes. He's the winningest baseball player, but do you really consider him the greatest athlete?
He's barely an athlete compared to today's standards. But again, that's why we don't compare eras, right? Yeah. That's why we don't compare Gretzky to
Yogi Berra was also, he also ran gunner on a U-boat. On a boat during D-Day. So
right. Then you can say
Emily says Neon Dion. Yeah, Deion Sanders.
Good stat here from Nicholas. Zach, this is the stuff you should be putting in here. Deion, only player to play in the World Series and the Super Bowl.
There you go. Deion Sanders, definitely one of the.
Hey, you know who was an amazing athlete, but he got hurt, and then I think he had cancer? Eric Davis.
Yeah,
he was great. Eric Davis, the late 80s, 30-30 club. He was fantastic.
Yeah.
Who else? Mike Trout now. You can say, he's probably the best baseball player. Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts, I feel like, is a better athlete than Mike Trout. I think Mike Trout is a baseball-centric, fantastic athlete, whereas I feel like Mookie could play another sport.
And Mookie's an all-world bowler too.
Although I'm sure maybe Mike Trout could be a linebacker somewhere because of his size.
Yeah. All right. Well, now I got to bring as just.
Okay.
What about Aaron Donald? Does he get any love towards this for what he's doing from the interior line? Does he get any love for one of the best athletes?
It's a different kind of athleticism, right? It's just huge men against huge men. There's a lack of speed. There's a lack of agility. No, I mean, he's incredibly. I mean, he's faster and more agile than I'd ever dream of being. But he's still, what is he, like 6'4", 300?
Yeah, I think he has a particular skill set.
He's only 6'1".
He's what?
He's only 6'1".
Oh, wow.
He's only 6'1".
But still, I mean, how many, as great as a defensive lineman is, I mean, maybe like Reggie White and Bruce Smith, how many times do they impact a game over the course of an entire? They just won't. I mean, obviously, yes, they can absolutely change the game, but more times than not, other skill positions have a bigger impact. I don't know, my opinion.
I'll tell you right after watching that Packers game, I missed him a lot.
Of course.
I'm sorry, but Steven just said Betts bowls 300.
He does. He could be a professional bowler.
End of story.
Wait, he bowls?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mookie Betts is a big time bowler.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, bowling really. I love bowling. Is bowling really a sport though?
I mean, you're always gonna.
No, but bowling. Oh, sorry, Michael.
No, bowling's not a sport. It's a part. It's like darts. You know, it's like
bowling 300 is pretty impressive.
No, it's amazing, but it's not,
yeah.
It's not an athletic feat. It's more of a technical feat. I feel. It doesn't matter. You're always going to find people who disagree with comparing eras and sports and different. Right. You know, so I mean, like Alberto Tomba was the greatest.
Yeah.
Year in the history.
He was smoking. He had a cigarette in one hand and a bottle of beer in the other hand as he's still in the race.
Chianti.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't mentioned Serena Williams or Federer.
Serena. And again, that's why I think we have to say by sport.
Right.
Agreed.
If we're talking tennis, Serena, you were saying it earlier, Dan. Serena might be the greatest female athlete of all time, and probably is.
I think she's one of the period. Take male, female out of that. She is just one of the, especially from just athletes I've seen, just top 5 greatest athletes I've ever seen.
I'm not a fan of hers personally. That's just my thing. But if I remove that as an athlete, she is probably the most competitive, most dominant female athlete ever. You're right. I agree.
And I think she won a major while she was pregnant.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she did. I know that one.
Yeah.
She didn't know she was pregnant though, did she?
No, but still, she's still pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah, but
isn't there like a WNBA player too that you could put up there? I don't know her name, but she's like 37 or something, still playing right now.
Oh, Sue Bird's still amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Sue Bird.
Diana Taurasi is still amazing. Candace Parker.
Then you got to talk about who's the speed skater?
Bonnie Blair.
Blair. I mean, Michaela Schifrin is on. She lost her father last year. Bless her heart.
Miles.
But Michaela Schifrin is on pace to become the most winning skier of all time by a long shot, man or woman. I know this is not a skiing show.
No, but
I do watch skiing. Yeah. I love it.
Right.
And
she also mentioned, Alex Morgan, women's soccer. Katie McDowell.
Megan Rapinoe. I know that from Abby Dead.
Yeah, exactly. Megan Rapinoe. I mean, so there's a ton. It's just, in fact, and you mentioned Serena Williams. I mean,
Tammy Granado, not one of the greatest of all time, but a very impactful figure in women's sport.
She's really good too. Was it Venus Williams or something like that? Isn't she really good too?
Venus was great as well too. For a while, she had some injury issues.
Yeah.
She's still playing. She, I think she withdrew yesterday, or she lost in the second round in the Australian Open. But I'm watching it right now.
Right.
Simone Biles.
Absolutely. I didn't mention her. I mean, go down. Absolutely. But
anyway,
so it's good. I guess we'll continue with baseball because those are the real athletes, right? Because they hate their fans and can't decide on anything, but they finally decided on this. They're going to go with some health and safety protocols they used last year, which was the 7-inning doubleheaders and the all controversial starting the runner on second base during extra innings. The 7-inning doubleheader, whatever. I mean,
It's a COVID thing. It's going to go away once COVID's over.
Yeah, but they failed to agree upon the universal DH, which they really should. So
That's so weird.
Yeah.
It's weird, but again, it's a COVID thing. Everything's going to be over. When we're back to normal, God willing, by next fall or whatever the hell it's going to be, I think there'll be a sense of normalcy that will come back. A lot of these decisions are being made because of, I think, COVID.
Yeah. But real quick on the DH, because Michael, you're the only National League fan here. What's the resistance for a National League fan to having the DH?
What's the what? Sorry.
What's the resistance to having the DH in the National League?
I mean, I hate the DH in the National League. I mean, I used to love that, I mean, back in the day, especially in the World Series only, because before interleague play, if you were pitching inside, you were gonna get pitch inside you had as a pitcher, you had to bat. You had to take the bat and step up to the plate. And if it's a whole. I think it's more of a. I don't know, like when they took the red line out in hockey, everyone freaked out. It's like, oh my God, the purists were freaking out. It turned out to be the greatest thing they've ever done to the game. DH is. I really don't give a shit, to be honest with you. I don't care.
Here's a follow-up question for you.
For the Mets, though, Pete Alonso and Dominic Smith, it's kind of a bit of a.
That's where I was going. Would you rather have your pitchers hit or Pete Alonso as your DH?
I'd rather have my pitchers hit.
Oh, shut up.
No, I'm serious. I'd like to have Pete Alonso and. Being a DH is such a hard thing to do.
But Pete Alonso's not a good first baseman. That's why
he's good enough. He's good enough.
He's not an athlete.
Yes, he is an athlete. I've watched every Mets game since he's been a Met, and he's made a lot of great scoops, and he's got a lot better. He's definitely not top 15 or.
Tom Smith is a much better first baseman.
100%. But to have Pete Alonso engaged in the game because he's playing, and just something about coming off the bench. There's a handful of players in the history of MLB that can come off the bench and make an impact. And I just feel like having your player engaged and just be part of the game and just feeling the flow of the game is much more beneficial. DH, I just don't care.
You know what? That's a really good argument. You're right. I would always a preconceived notion of would you rather have someone hit than watching these pitchers hit. But I think you made just a great argument that not every position player can handle just sitting in the bench for pretty much 3 hours and then basically 4 at-bats, and that's your whole day is defined by those 4 at-bats.
And you're usually, like, behind at that point, and you have to
good point.
Come through in the clutch, and it doesn't matter how much you've been warming up in the tunnel, And DeGrom is probably our best hitting pitcher by far because he played shortstop in high school and –
So he's what, a 170 hitter maybe?
Yeah, which is amazing for a pitcher.
It's better than Chris Davis.
Yeah, I just like the fact that you have runners on second and third, 2 outs, and you'll have a pitcher out. It's an automatic out. It's just there's no other sport where both. I know it's tradition, but baseball we're throwing tradition out. Once we have the wild card, it's done. Once they added division DH in one league, it's done. Expansion, done. Everything. Hell, black players, done. Once that was in there, you should have DH. It should be universal everywhere. You don't have you play with 4 guys in Western Conference in the NBA and 5 in the Eastern. It just.
You know what?
Especially in the World Series, where the American League is such a disadvantage.
Dan, I do agree with you in the sense that forget the spirit of the game in terms of the actual rules. If you're going to have a DH, if a National League team is playing an American League team park, then it just should be universal DH.
Agreed.
So it's like at this point, it's like just make it universal because if changing it from National League park to American, it's stupid. Let's talk about the thing that we disagree on the most is the runner starting on second.
Before that, we have breaking news.
Okay.
I brought it up before, but a 3-team trade between the Red Sox, Royals, and Mets would send Andrew Benintendi to Kansas City, which is nearing completion. If the deal is completed, the Red Sox would receive Franchi Cordero, and at least one player from the Mets who would get back outfield prospect Khalil Lee. Sources told whoever that is. The Mets would get back Khalil Lee.
A very reliable update.
Okay, so 3-team trade. That's kind of interesting.
And we get something. Yes.
Yeah.
And another guy said that the Red Sox could get all the way up to 5 players.
Oh wow! All right.
Well, great.
All right.
Good for them.
Well, once we maybe that's something we talk about next week. Once we let the dust settle on that, because this does sound. Does this sound like? What are the Red Sox doing? Because they just traded a very good young player. Are they rebuilding, or are they still in that in between phase where they're not sure what they're doing? Because you still have Devers, you still have Xander Bogaerts. There still are some very good pieces there.
Yeah.
So that's something we might want to discuss when we get a little closer to the baseball season.
Sorry, I don't ever want to talk about the Red Sox. Who gives a shit? Seriously.
All right, so let's get back to the rules.
I just want to say one thing. Emily just said Randy Johnson's solo home run, incredible. I was at the game. Yes. How about Bartolo Colon?
Bartolo.
San Diego.
No, okay, which are all great moments. So you'd rather sit through, countless games of just pitchers striking out.
No, he made his point. He's okay.
I agree. Universal DH, I'm down with it only because if there was no interleague play, I would say
Right.
I agree with you.
That's fine. Right.
With interleague play, you just have to make it universal. So just it's just too complicated now.
Now let's get to the hot button rule change.
Yes.
All right.
I love it so much. The man on second extra innings is, I mean, it's the best thing ever. It's not going to be great for teams that are really in you know what? It doesn't matter. No, it's going to be great for all teams. Do you really want to see an 18-inning game between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Arizona Diamondbacks in late July when both teams are 15 games under 500?
Preach.
No. Oh, so you're on my team, Dan?
Well, 100%. It's Father Time's not on our team.
Okay.
All right.
Father Time.
Honestly, now that I don't have to worry about doing baseball games anymore, I don't care how long they go. But that being said, 10th and 11th innings, do it the traditional way. Then maybe start in the 12th inning with a runner on second base.
All right, so you're doing a tennis thing right now because this is what it used to be at Wimbledon. It used to be like, if any of you are tennis fans, the Nicolas Mahut against John Isner match went over 3 days. The final score in the final set was 74-72 or something like that. They literally played 74 games in the final set. So now it's you play a tiebreak up to 12 games, and then it's whoever wins the next game wins kind of thing. So I kind of like that, Noel. That's kind of I think it's a hybrid. It's
sort of like a compromise.
Let them play till the 12th.
Yeah.
And if no one's won the game by the 12th, then you start the runner on second. I'm down with that.
It's good and bad.
Yeah, because by the 12th inning, you're already into like the 8th man in your bullpen.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's part of the problem too. And I think that's my biggest argument with this. Get it done as quick as possible. And Nicholas says that starting at second isn't baseball. Look, finishing a hockey game with a shootout isn't hockey. The overtime rules in college football is very muddy.
Finishing a World Cup final on a penalty
is not soccer.
That is not soccer.
Yeah.
What you need during the regular season, when you play every day, when you have a 162-game season, you don't need 18-inning games. And baseball's the only sport that gets progressively worse as the game lengthens.
Yeah.
Overtime in basketball is exciting. Football in overtime, it is what it is. There's nothing better than overtime hockey. And even regular season. This is just for the regular season, too. We're not talking playoffs. Right. And 3-on-3 overtime is exciting as all hell, too. It's must watch. But baseball gets worse the longer the game goes out. By the time you get to inning 13,
position players pitching.
Yes, inning 13, 14, you're running out of pitchers. Oh, we got a pinch run for Miguel Cabrera, so now or Albert Pujols, so now they're out of the game. They can't come back. Imagine saying LeBron James, you came out for a defensive switch. Now you can't come back into the game. Or doing something like that in football. Peyton Manning comes off because they want to run a trick play, and now Peyton Manning can't come back out. It's just ludicrous. Either do what they're doing right now or allow players to, or maybe allow one or two players to come back into the game. Because you can't get to the 16th, 17th inning. There are times we get to those games where there's been no ball that's left the infield, in 5 innings. And
Right.
that's not baseball either.
And by the way, it's terrible for teams who have been out of the hunt for a month or two and
Right.
are going to be out of the hunt for the next 2 months. And it's terrible for teams who are in the hunt because of the stress it puts on their bullpens. So just getting the games over quicker, I think, is beneficial to everyone. I know it's not a purist view, but I mean, and by the way, the worst overtime ever is the NFL.
It's terrible.
Oh,
Just do what college does. You both start at the same place. If you
no,
just-
it should be 1 10-minute quarter, and if one team scores 3 touchdowns, like it's a field goal. That's what it is.
Just play the quarter.
10-minute
I
quarter.
Oh, yeah, do it like extra time. That's interesting.
yeah, I like it.
Just play the quarter.
Play a quarter. Play one more quarter. I kind of like that.
Yeah. Come on, Zach. Call the NFL. Get a job there.
I'm gonna call Roger Goodell and then go have a talk at his house with him.
I like it.
Right.
Eat those M&Ms from the draft that he had.
I'll be your assistant. Let me know.
Yeah. Back to baseball. I mean, if they're trying to shorten the game, how about keep the batter in the box after every pitch instead of doing his batting gloves?
Yes, you can do that, but that's not going to
keep them in. Keep them in because how much time would you save? You'd probably
not
save
as much as playing 18 innings.
no, but how often is an 18 game?
Enough.
I think it's more there's some pitchers that I think it's more the pitchers actually.
I agree. Make the pitchers pitch every 24 seconds or
It's
whatever.
a combination of both. I mean, tennis. I'm a huge tennis fan. The Australian Open's going on right now. So now they have in tennis they have a serve clock.
Right.
I think it's 25 seconds. And I was watching Borg McEnroe 1980s. I was watching even back to even the Agassi Sampras era. They never asked for a towel and asked for 4 balls and examined every ball and took literally a minute between each serve, between first and second serve. And now it's like it takes forever. Just get the game going. Same in baseball. You're right, Noel. The batter doing his thing and he comes the helmet's adjusted and the pitcher's doing is digging into the mound. Just have a clock. Let's go.
Like Gary Sanchez all the time is doing his gloves.
And then he swings over a breaking ball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everyone does. And it's so frustrating. Or have the managers better manage their pitching staff. So you have a couple of your top guys ready for extra innings. It's ridiculous. But
No, you can't manage 18 innings. You can't manage 18 innings.
You don't want to keep Roll's shot. But you have these pitching staffs are massive now. You have 9-man bullpens.
Oh, for sure. It's different than it used to be. I agree with that. But there are also a lot of double headers. And, not last year, but was it 2 years ago? I can't remember. There were 3 or 4 games within a period of 2 or 3 weeks that they had a double header. And the night game before the matinee game went 16 or 17 innings. And the guys came out, they were just like, I can't move. And, I know it's not hockey or football, but I mean, they're still out there. Anyway,
But the problem
anything to make baseball faster, I'm down with for sure.
Right. But then you have all these teams now. The popular thing is having the opener as your starting pitcher, so that immediately will make the game longer because he'll go 2 innings. Then you have another guy go, another guy. I may be being a purist here, but have a starting pitcher go more than 5 innings.
That's just not the way the game is.
I know, but I mean, most top one starting a guy like DeGrom, he'll go 7 innings,
right?
7, maybe 8. If he's on a heater, he'll go 8, and maybe he might even go 9. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Unfortunately, that's just the evolution of the game.
There's 5 or 6 pitchers that can do that.
Is that really evolving the game?
No, it isn't.
It's
That's not changing anytime soon.
It's analytics, and that's the part of the game that's ruining it.
Because the math proves that the third time through a lineup, the chance for a batter to get a hit goes significantly up.
All right,
I don't like it either.
Talk to Blake Snell about that one.
Okay, Dan. Here's I totally agree with you, and that's been proven.
And once again, I'm not saying when you have your ace. I'm talking. We're about the argument I'm about to say. I'm not talking about Garrett Cole. I'm not talking about DeGrom. I'm not talking about Scherzer, Walker Buehler. I'm talking about your 3rd, 4th, 5th starters.
But Blake Snell was their second, maybe their top starter this year. To take him out in the World Series. I'm not talking about a game against Cleveland in July.
I agree with you 100%.
You need that game.
Right.
And you pull that shit. It's ridiculous.
I don't think. Go ahead, Michael. I'm sorry.
No, here's what I will say about analytics. So we're talking about analytics, and it's very. I'm not a huge fan, but I see its purpose.
Agreed.
But
Yeah.
if you're talking about baseball, right, especially, and as you said, by the time they go through the lineup 3 times, the hitter's advantage over the pitcher increases exponentially because of X, Y, Z. These guys all know each other. They've all been in the same league. They all have a book on each other that's 100 pages long. So why does it take 3 times through the rotation in that game for them to get a sort of like a clue of what the guys they should know? They should be dialed in from the first pitch, is what I'm saying. If analytics is such a big part of the game, then it should be from the first pitch. You know what's going on right away. You don't need to see what the guy's throwing. You know that this pitcher's got a sinker, he's got a curveball, he's got a changeup, and that's it. And I don't know. It's just analytics is you either love it or you hate it, or maybe you're like me, you're kind of in the middle because I don't really understand analytics, and I don't want to because I'm too fucking old and I don't care. But like this whole theory of by third time through the rotation, he's gonna get no.
Everyone has to use both. You have to use your brain and you have to use the numbers. So you have to have a feel for the game when, you look at the numbers and, maybe he's not on tonight. But then there's also times where it's like, I know what the numbers say right now, but I also trust what I'm seeing right now. You just have to have that feel. And
I must say, as a Mets fan, our last few managers, that is what they were missing. They were like, by the book, analytics. Oh, he's up, take him out. There was never like, you know what? I'm feeling this game. I'm feeling he had 2 hard lineouts to third or second, whatever. I'm gonna leave him, even though it's his 3rd time around, because there aren't enough managers that manage by feel anymore. If we're talking about baseball specifically, but analytics is valuable. I have a friend who's the analytics head guy for the Florida Panthers. And he swears by it. I mean, there are certain areas on the ice where a player has literally like a 44% higher chance rate of scoring than if he's like 10 feet to the left or the right. Right. And those are real stats that have been compiled over the last decade. But at the end of the day,
him on because that would be good to dive into that discussion.
And it's the same for all sports, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Football.
What about number of pitches for baseball? For a pitcher.
Yeah, I think
you're pretty. Go ahead, sorry.
I think that's too much in the pitcher's head right now. Once he knows he's at 100, he automatically feels his arm getting tired. It's just built into their psyche right now. That's 100 pitches, and it's a shame. I understand you want to protect the pitcher because these contracts and stuff like that, but
they make too much money.
They make too much money, and it's an investment. I mean, we totally get that. But in the World Series, the eye test, the feel. Let the manager manage, because half the time you're having the GM pretty much manage where the manager's pretty much the messenger.
Right.
They have the book, like you said before, and it's unfortunate.
All right, boys, let's get to trivia. We're running way late here.
All right. Sorry. You got somewhere to be?
No, it's just we're already 50 minutes in. We haven't got,
Okay. That's good, huh?
Let me lose.
All right. Okay, can we show the board?
You give me the option and I'll present it.
Oh, I thought I was sharing it. Stop sharing. Okay, hold on a second.
Ouija board?
Share screen. All right, there we go.
Nope. There we go.
There we go. Okay, Michael, you can start. Zach, you're playing along here too. We're gonna go run one round. You're all going one round.
Can't win them all. Seems like my kind of category. But I'm gonna go. Let's see. On the small screen, screw that. Sports University. Is that like sports university names or?
No, it's where players went to school.
Oh, okay. I will go. Can't win them all for 2.
Can't win them all for 2. All right. This goalie was the last player to win the Conn Smythe from a losing team.
Oh my God. Is it Jean Sebastien Giguère?
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And
stop picking that category again if that's a 2.
All right, you were up, Noel.
All right, let's do on the small screen for 3.
For how much?
3.
3. In this sitcom airing from 1992 to 97, Mark Hurry becomes a high school teacher for Oak Ridge High School following a failed career with the Golden State Warriors.
Hang on, Mr. Cooper.
That is correct.
I'm not gonna get a single one.
I didn't. I literally have no idea of anything that was just said.
Maybe we stay away from that category. You don't have to play, Zach. You don't have to play if you don't want to.
No, there's one that I do want.
Okay, go ahead. You're up.
Dan, switch your green cube to.
What I do?
Yeah, put my green to can't win them all.
Yeah, you have it also on there.
Oh, all right. There we go.
Thanks, Rob, for that.
All right. Thank you, Rob. There we go.
Wrong cube, Dan. I'm sure you've heard that a lot. I don't know what that means.
Go ahead, Zach.
Let me get Sports University for 1.
Sports University for 1. So we'll put. I guess I'll just put. Maybe we'll see this one.
I have no idea. I'm not gonna get a single one of these, but I feel like
this one for sure.
Hold on a second. We'll put it in as well. All right, Sports University for 1. Drafted by the Tennessee Titans in 2006, Vince Young played at this Southern school where he was awarded the David O'Brien Award for Best College Quarterback in 2006.
I have no idea.
There you go.
Wait, corner? You say corner or quarterback?
Quarterback. Vince Young.
Vince, I never got that.
Just take a guess.
Southern school.
Well,
You see what I'm doing?
He
Yeah,
doesn't know what that means.
No.
couldn't tell you.
Take a guess.
2000.
He beat USC in one of the great Rose Bowl games of all time.
I have no idea.
Take a guess.
Take a guess. Jamarcus Russell.
No, the school.
What they meant player. Someone said player.
Where did Vince Young go to college? We'll simplify it.
Where did Vince Young? I have no idea. I'm gonna get Texas.
That's correct.
Yes.
Are you serious?
That's correct.
Oh my god!
By the way, that's a 1. I mean, it's not hard, but
I would never have gotten that.
as a 1, that's okay. I can't. I'm gonna go. Okay.
Go ahead, Michael.
I'm gonna go Sports University for 2.
All right. Tiger Woods won an amazing 8 matches and only 13 starts for this California university,
The Cardinal.
which is from where?
Stanford.
Thank you.
That's much easier than Vince Young.
Oh, you took a 2-point question last time, which is technically wrong, but fuck it.
All right, give me a 3. Why not?
That's all right. We'll keep it going. Well, everybody will get a bonus question. That's all.
Like that was too cheesy.
That's a bad job by me. All right, go ahead.
Sports universities for 4.
Ooh, I like it.
Ooh, now it gets interesting. Okay.
Okay.
Out of the Grand Canyon State, Barry Bonds attended this university before being drafted in 1985 in the 6th round by the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Arizona State.
That is correct.
I actually knew that. Barry Bonds.
All right, go ahead, Zach.
Oh no! Here we go again. Give me also known as for 2.
Also known as for 2.
Oh god.
Baseball abbreviations is intriguing to me and terrifying at the same time.
That's
If
why.
you're watching a game in Hockey Town, which American city are you in?
Come on.
That's Detroit.
Yes, it's a 2-point question, Vartan.
All right, fair enough. All right, it's my turn.
All right, Michael, you're up.
I'll go if also known as 4.
Also known as for 4.
Wait, I can't. Wait.
Yes, you
Am I-
can.
No, I'm green. Sorry.
You're green. All right. Don LeClaire, Eric Lindros, and Michael Remberg made up this terrifying line for the Flyers in the mid-'90s.
Legion of Doom.
Correct.
That should have been a 2 or 3.
Go ahead. It's more fun when everybody gets questions right.
You're right. You're right. I'm just,
Nils up.
On the small screen for 5.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I think I don't know.
it's weird that I'm staying away from on the small screen and I'm an actual one. And
All right. Starring Josh Charles, Peter Krause, and Felicity Huffman. This sitcom, running from 98 to 2000, was based around a Sports Center-style fictional show.
Sports Night.
That's correct.
Nicely done.
Great show.
Was a good job. Josh Charles is, in passing, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
Really?
Yeah. I used to play.
Zach, go ahead, bud.
I used to play poker with him. Such a super, super nice guy.
Nice.
Go ahead, Zach.
Oh, I'll do can't win them all for 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say take a 5.
Wrong.
5.
I'm staying away from baseball abbreviations.
I'm gonna take a 5 in that.
Who failed to blossom, becoming the first player to ever miss 5,000 free throws in his entire career?
Oh my god.
I don't even know what that means.
Missed 5,000 free throws in his career.
And failed to blossom?
Who failed to blossom, becoming the first player to ever miss 5,000 free throws in their entire career?
Oh, clever, Dan. Clever.
I have no idea.
Yes.
I'm gonna get. I feel like it's a top 2 pick in the draft. I'm gonna guess Andre Bargnani.
Wait, before you guess. If he missed 5,000 career free throws, he played for a long time, and he shot a lot of free throws.
Shot a lot. Is it? It's not Kobe, is it?
No, it's not.
No.
It's,
okay.
Right.
There was a hint in the clue.
Yeah.
If you fail to blossom, you wilt. It was Wilt Chamberlain.
God, you are putting some work into this, and I appreciate it.
I have to thank. I have some trivia consultants who help us on the show, and they have been putting in fantastic work.
That's a great
question. Never got.
Okay, Michael, you are up.
All right, baseball abbreviations for 4.
Baseball abbreviations. You already took a 4-point question.
For 3.
For 3.
This board's giving me a seizure.
Okay, here we go. Finish what you started to get your CG count up.
Your CG count up in baseball?
Yep, CG. The abbreviation is CG. Finish what you started.
CG. Oh, finish complete game.
Yep, that's right.
Finish what you started. The clue was in the question.
That's right.
Fantastic. I just have to listen.
1 or 2. We'll have a bonus round. So you're up, Noel. You can take a 1 or a 2.
I'll do baseball abbreviations for 1.
All right.
Better get
Ouch.
this right.
They need to call the medic when an HPB occurs.
It's so much easier when it's not your turn.
Go ahead, Zach.
I'll do on the small screen for 4.
On the small screen for 4.
Oh no, here we go.
Oh boy. Okay. Ready?
I hope so.
Prior to his bartending years at Cheers, Sam Malone got this nickname in his pitching career because he either got the Red Sox in trouble or out of trouble.
Mayday.
Very good.
Yay.
Wow.
Good job, buddy.
That's all by myself.
That's really good. Good job, dude.
Who the hell is Sam Malone?
Ted Danson's character on Cheers?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You should stay away from that category.
I'm going to.
Okay. Michael, you're up. You have a 1. A 1 or a 5? 1 or a 5?
Okay, I'll take 5. I'll take 5, also known as.
Okay. Good question here. Maurice Richard was known to be explosive, but what was the nickname of his diminutive brother, Henri?
So it's kind of like Rocket Ishmael and whatever his brother was.
Oh, Quadri.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's actually that's a great comparison. I almost put that question in instead.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh God. I don't know. I don't. I can't even guess.
The Pocket Rocket.
Oh.
Oh.
The pocket rocket.
And it's amazing what happens when you Google that word.
Yes, I'm sure.
I did not get the stats on Andre Richard like I thought I would.
Batteries not included.
Yeah.
All right. Noel, you have a 2 left.
Okay. On the small screen for 2.
Leading the Minnesota State University Screaming Eagles, this fictional D1 school, coached by Craig T. Nelson, starred in this sitcom from 1989 to 1997.
Coach.
All right.
That was a great show.
Yeah. Aiden.
Zach, you have a 3 left.
Oh God. I'll go also known as for 3.
Okay. The nickname for this carnivorous defense that led the Vikings to 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. 3 Super Bowl appearances in 4 years.
The name of their defense?
Yep. The nickname for this carnivorous defense that led the Vikings to 3 Super Bowls in 4 years.
I feel like it has something to do with the name. You just said that.
Carnivorous is a little off. Whatever.
I have no idea, but I don't know. But I'm just taking the easy way out. Is it purple people eaters?
Yes.
Thanks, Bobby.
I
Yes.
took the easy way out, but I had no idea.
Oh, I was going to say, think of more of a people. Forget carnivorous. Think of eating colors, or that would have not made sense at all. Never mind.
Okay, Michael, you have a 1 left.
Okay, I'll just go. Can't. Did I do sports? Okay, can't win them all.
This football team lost 3 straight Super Bowls in the 1990s.
Not 4.
This football team lost 4 straight Super Bowls in the 1990s.
Buffalo Bills.
I misread that. Yeah, Buffalo Bills is correct.
I was like, wait a minute.
You have a 2 left, Noel, because Vartan had an extra 2. Which 2 would you like?
Just read it.
Okay. Only for the selfless, an SF may lead to a score, but not for the player at bat.
Sacrifice fly.
That's correct. And Zach, you can take anything on the board. This is the last question of the game.
All right,
Take a 5.
Take a 5.
Take a 5. Go big.
All right, we'll go baseball abbreviations for 5.
That's the one I wanted to see.
Yeah.
I'll reveal the other 5 as well too, and then you guys can try. You guys can just see if you know it or not. All right. Crack the whip on this stat for pitchers.
Say that one more time.
Crack the whip on this stat for pitchers.
Crack the
Abbreviation is whip.
Abbreviation is whip. I could not tell you. If this was any other sport but baseball, I probably could have got it, but I don't know.
Whip is walks and hits per inning pitched.
Yes.
I've heard that before, but I would never have gotten that.
And the last 5-point question is Sports University, right?
Yep.
Fast to the puck, Jonathan Quick led this revolutionary Hockey East team to their first ever postseason appearance in 2007.
UMass.
Which one?
Lowell.
Oh, Amherst.
Oh, damn it.
I would have accepted that, though. All right. So, no, this was a really – you guys did great.
Got my 3 points.
Zach, you got 10.
Oh.
Martin got 15, and Noel got 17.
Nice. Good game.
Good job, guys. And I'd like to thank everyone else. I'd like to thank all those who've helped with the questions.
Yeah.
And next week, if everything goes right, Zach will be hosting trivia, and the 3 of us will be playing.
Yes.
I would like to say thank you to everyone who gave me the trivia answers.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Zach, you represent the people of the show then.
Yeah. And I think, sometime in the future, I think we're going to have fans join and compete against us in trivia.
I like the idea of that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll have to figure out how to do that. But yeah, that should be fun.
Oh, now I got to teach Grandma how to do this.
Exactly. But everyone, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 100. Dan is going to give, he told me, $1,250 per subscriber now. So,
What am I, the government?
yeah.
That's when Sprite comes too.
Yeah, exactly. And then tomorrow morning, make sure you catch Dan and Michael talking to
Breakfast
Bobby.
with Michael.
Yeah. And woohoo!
Rising China. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you tomorrow and next week.
Have a good night, guys. Take care. Thank you.